joining us today for the third edition of the Wing Spotlight interviews. We're joined today by Ghazal Izadi, the Chief Operating Officer of XGS Energy. Ghazal has had extensive technical experience in oil and gas, as well as geothermal over a decade. And in this interview, we'll be diving more into her background, her journey, her technical and mentorship experience, and what drives her each day. So welcome, Ghazal. It's an absolute pleasure to have you joining us today. So let's dive into some questions, shall we? So we'd like to start off by just learning a little bit more about your background. So could you share some details about your educational background, where you grew up, and how you found yourself in geothermal?
Thank you, Kiara. Thank you, Elizabeth. First, I would like to thank Wing and especially the US chapter. I had a fantastic interaction with you guys this year for this mentorship program and all the great things that you are doing to make sure that the community is inclusive and everybody is engaging. So I appreciate that and putting this interview together. So I was born and raised in Iran, where I developed a deep appreciation for science and mathematics. Um, from the early age, this passion led me to pursue bachelor's and master's degree in applied mathematics, where I honed my analytical thinking and some of the quantitative skills sets that I gained. However, I always wanted to apply these principles to the real world engineering challenges. So that's why led me to transition into the field of petroleum and reservoir engineering for my PhD, graduated from Penn State. During my doctoral studies, I focused on geothermal engineering, specifically on enhanced geothermal system, EGS, which I was privileged to work on the first EGS project back in 2009 with Rock at Newberry, which is a fantastic geothermal resource as part of my research program. Although I initially moved into oil and gas industry where I worked on subsurface engineering, reservoir engineering, and project management at a global scale, I never lost sight of potential of the geothermal around the sustainability and the value that it brings in the energy mix. Over the years, I gained a lot of experience in unconventional reservoirs, hydraulic fracturing, geomechanics, numerical modeling, all which have a strong parallels with geothermal development. In recent years, my focus has shifted back to geothermal energy, which is driven both by technical potential and its role in the sustainable energy solutions. So I can say the transition felt natural as many of the subsurface principles I had worked with in oil and gas were directly applicable to geothermal. However, what excites me most is the challenge of adopting and optimizing and innovating geothermal technologies to make them more scalable and efficient and economically viable. So all of us know geothermal is a global resource with immense untapped potential, and I'm very passionate about leveraging those skill set and expertise to help and unlock it.
That's great. I mean, I think that's something that's just so exciting about geothermal is just the huge potential that we have to kind of make this an incredible resource. And I just love hearing people like you talk about your passion around geothermal. It's just absolutely incredible to see. Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit more about that oil and gas background. So, as you mentioned, you have like all of this experience coming from oil and gas. And do you think that that is really important for kind of where you are in your geothermal journey now? And would you recommend someone who's just starting out in geothermal to actually maybe start in the oil and gas industry as kind of a pathway into that?
Yeah, I think my experience in oil and gas was incredibly valuable. It provided me and equipped me with deep technical expertise, learning about problem-solving skills, and also the approach to unlock the potential of the subsurface in terms of the energy extraction. Geothermal has unique challenges, but the foundation in drilling, completion, reservoir management, and the project execution from oil and gas translates well. So while it's not only path to geothermal, for those interested in subsurface energy development, oil and gas background can provide a strong fundamentals. But I don't think that we need to limit that. So anybody can come to this field and then provide value based on their background.
So let me jump in and ask a question. You bring a wealth of technical expertise that you got from the oil and gas industry, but now you're the chief operating officer at XGS. So do you find yourself doing a lot of technical work, or is it more commercial? Can you talk a little bit about what you do in your role?
Great question. And it's always a balance, but I would say my focus has expanded beyond just the technical aspects. I'm deeply passionate about the problem solving in this segment, especially on the geothermal reservoir engineering aspect. I still enjoy the challenge of tackling complex subsurface and operational issues. However, we work to scale geothermal energy into the mainstream power source. So the commercial side has become just as crucial as technical side. So I can say success in geothermal is not just about technical breakthroughs, it's about building the right business strategy, forging a strong partnership, and executing at scale. So that is where I find myself operating now, at the intersection of the technical and the commercial leadership and execution. So I would also highlight that the energy transition is not just about the technical challenge. It's an economical strategic as well. So we need to bring together cutting edge engineers, smart financing models, industry collaboration to accelerate deployment. I believe at this stage of my career, I see the bigger picture more than ever. It's not enough to develop great technology. We must also align stakeholders, secure investment, create pathways for larger scale implementation. That's what makes me this journey so exciting, the opportunity to bridge innovation with impact and bring geothermal into its rightful place as a cornerstone of the clean energy future.
So when you look at your journey from oil and gas into geothermal, are there key pivotal points that stand out to you, and perhaps those were accompanied by pivotal people that you could talk about?
Yeah, I think there have been several pivotal moments and influential people who have shaped my journey, each playing a crucial role on where I am today. One of the most defining moments was realizing that my technical expertise could be more than just solving complex engineering problems. It could be also a catalyst for real lasting impactful concept in the energy transition. That shift in mindset changed everything for me. So throughout my career, I've been fortunate to have mentors who saw potential in me before I fully saw it in myself. They pushed me to take on leadership roles, challenge conventional thinking, and also a step outside my comfort zone, which is really important to acknowledge that we need to go to that path. Some encouraged me to explore geothermal at the time when the industry was still finding its footing. Others showed me the importance of bridging technical expertise with some strategic vision. But I think beyond mentorship, there were also defining challenges, moments where things didn't go as planned, where I have to make tough decisions, or where I found myself at the crossroads, as we say. Each of those moments really forced me to grow, adapt, and develop a stronger sense of resilience and purpose. Looking back, I realized that every challenge, every pivot, and every person who challenged me to think bigger has shaped the approach in my skills and especially on my leadership approach today. It's not just being an expert, it's about driving meaningful change, inspiring teams, pushing boundaries to create something bigger than yourself. And that mindset I really acknowledge and I bring it to geothermal. I hope I can. And that's what keeps me motivated every day to wake up and start my day.
That's great. I mean, yeah, I love how you kind of talked about kind of all of these kind of beliefs and actions that really helped shape who you are and kind of where you are in this geothermal industry. Are there kind of specific things that you see as like your characteristics or your specific beliefs that you really think were vital to getting you where you are today?
Yeah, I think I would like to say it again, but resilience, adaptability, and willing to be open and take risks. I think these are the three that I really believe, and I try to follow those type of process to make sure that I gain that. But I also believe on constantly learning, um, the challenge, and being open to new opportunities. So taking on difficult projects, making difficult decisions, pushing the boundaries of what is possible and building a strong teams have been a key to my journey so far.
Yeah, and is that something that you've always been that kind of person that saw challenges as just an opportunity to grow, or is this something that you kind of learned through time?
I think both. So I think you need uh, to have mentors and see that it is possible. So it gives you courage to say yes to new opportunities and then be in this journey to make sure that you learn and leverage and you level up your decision-making process. I think it's both. So you need to learn and you need to apply.
Okay. And do you have any advice for how you can go about applying those things? How you kind of build up that courage to do that?
Yeah, I think this is what I love about this mentorship program at what Wing is leading is that I had a fantastic mentors through my career. And it always, the style that I was working with them was very collaborative. That is what I love about mentoring styles, which is learn how to listen, learn how to help to find the solution instead of giving the solution and path to people, and empowerment. So when you empower the people, and this is something that again through different leaders that I work with at different industry. So you give them confidence and you gain confidence about how you build your ability to make a better decision and also navigate through that path strategically. I think strategic thinking, it is something that you need to work with different people to learn about it and how to act on it. So mentorship and mentee relationship is very important, and who we select to follow and learn from, and who is willing to listen to us, right? To help us to be a better person, either in our personal life or in our career. So I think those are the things that I was very privileged to work with very high level, very strategic mentors during my career.
Great. Yeah. And is that something now, once you're kind of mentoring people in your life, are those kind of the key things that you try and get across within your mentoring? And how would you describe kind of your mentorship style and the most important things you aim to get across there?
Yeah, as I mentioned, so I think I call it collaborative style, which means that you don't just give advice, you listen and ask questions, and let the mentees develop their own solutions, and make sure that you give them all the empowerment, right? There is a tool and techniques, and also there is a natural part of each of us that needs to communicate and build a relationship with the audience, right? And gaining confidence and ability to perform and to influence. I think this is something that I would like to be some of the drive force on navigating the careers instead of pushing for what I think is right or wrong. So that is what I really believe, that it should be very collaborative between mentee and mentor.
Okay, so I have a question. You've been a part of the Wing Thermal Trailblazer Mentoring Program. Can you share with us a little bit about what your experience has been like?
It has been incredible experience so far. I know it's not finished yet, but Elizabeth, I would like also to highlight your leadership here for how you structure it and how you really help the both side of the equation to have some fundamentals to what to focus and what is important. And so thank you for doing that. And as I mentioned, what I love about this program, because Wing creates a strong community of support, encouragement, and growth. So seeing mentees these past few months, how they develop and take on new challenges and build a trust, because usually we have around 10, 12 people sitting in the single call, and they are coming from different background, different companies, and how you give them this trust environment that they can share, and all of us, we can learn from each other. It is very rewarding. So I think the program is not only builds individual careers, but really strengthens the entire geothermal industry for fostering leadership and inclusivity, which is really important. And I really acknowledge this effort from Wing.
That's great. And you've got some exciting news that you want to share with us. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I think we are launching a program called the Power Shift program, which is we are bringing industry leaders, visionary leaders in energy technology policy to discuss of the future of the power and the sustainability. I'm very excited that most of the people that we lined up for these video interviews at different episodes and guests, they are coming with a very strong background, being sitting in the White House, running the very strong technology companies in oil and gas, people that invest in this domain and the climate tech and geothermal per se. And then all of these ideas that how they can work and they bring this vision that we need the future sustainable baseload power, that geothermal is one of the most important one that can fulfill this need based on the market and the signal demands that we have from the market. So it is very exciting, and I cannot wait to bring the first guest and first episode live on April.
And where would we be able to find these episodes?
So this is basically is a multi-platform promotion. We are going to host them on YouTube, I believe, and then we are going to make sure that working with you, Wing, with other partners like Geothermal Rising and other industry partners to make sure that we promote based on our audience. We definitely put it in LinkedIn and our XGS website. So hopefully we can share those news with you very soon.
Awesome. Well, that's very exciting. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing at XGS. Can you talk a little bit about your projects and the technology?
So XGS is a technology company. We are advancing geothermal energy through innovative technology that really unlocks heat from deeper and less permeable rock formation, where we don't necessarily need a reservoir or hot fluid in the subsurface. Our goal is to make geothermal financeable, first of all, by reducing upfront costs, by reducing the needs to water, resource characteristic or geological characteristics like permeability, porosity that requires for conventional geothermal. And the goal is that to scalable faster, make that cost efficient and deployable anywhere. that we have hot rock, which is basically the total available market for us is the whole all around the globe. So right now, I think the technology has been tested at scale in the existing geothermal field that we are moving to commercial projects very soon this year. So my focus on leading engineering, operational, and commercial part to drive the successful execution of our upcoming projects, and also accelerating geothermal roles in the clean energy transition.
That all sounds really exciting. So now we'll jump into a little bit more about kind of your personal life and inspiration and kind of those fun questions just to get to know you a little bit more. So can you tell us a little bit about kind of your North Star and what kind of gets you up in the morning and keeps you moving forward, even on those days when you might not feel like you want to?
That's a good question. I think so. My North Star is the vision of the world, where clean, sustainable energy is not just a possibility, but a reality. So I wake up every morning driven by the belief that geothermal energy has the potential to redefine the future of power, reliable, always available, and truly sustainable. So knowing that our work today can unlock an energy source that will benefit generations to come is what really fuels me, to be honest. And I always like this quote from Thomas Edison that said, "There is way to do it better, find it." So that mindset keeps me pushing forward, looking for ways to refine our approach, improve efficiency, and make geothermal a cornerstone of energy transition. So I believe leadership is about creating momentum, and not just for myself, but for the teams, partners, and future generation who will carry this vision forward. So I think at the end of the day, my motivation comes from knowing that every challenge we overcome, every innovation we drive, every step we take brings us closer to the future where energy is not a limitation anymore.
Okay, I'm going to ask my favorite question because I really like to understand how people spend their time. So my question is, what does a typical week look like for you?
I think it's a mix. It's a mix of a strategic planning, technical deep dives, team collaboration, external engagements. Sometimes I'm meeting with engineering team and solving technical challenges, and others I'm working with partners, investors, stakeholders to drive the business forward. So, Elizabeth, I can say no 2 weeks are the same, which keeps things exciting.
Okay, and to accompany that question, I'm very curious. What are your hobbies?
This is my favorite question. I think everybody should have hobbies.
Yes.
That is important. I always love sports, especially tennis, which I grew up playing. It fuels my competitive spirit, if I may say. I also enjoy some of the sports to help me to reflect and recharge, like hiking and yoga. Swimming is another passion I have, which really allows me to focus on breathing, balance, and body control. I think I force myself at least to do a few of these activities during the week before I start my job and work early morning, to help me stay sharp, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely agree with the tennis stuff. I've just started playing tennis again after not playing for a while. And yes, love it. absolutely get that. So I wanted to ask you, do you have any advice for kind of the younger generation who's just looking to advance in geothermal or just starting out in geothermal? Is there anything you would kind of say or things that you wish you'd known when you were starting out?
Stay curious, um, keep learning, and don't be afraid to take risk. I think we all know geothermal is expanding rapidly, creating opportunities for innovation. So whatever background is in oil and gas, academia, even another fields, I think those skills are very valuable. Again, seeking mentors, building a strong network, um, and embrace new challenges. I think the most important thing here is to focus on fundamentals like math and physics. I think these foundations will empower everybody to succeed, even in the scientific growth career path or as engineering in this field. So pay attention to fundamentals. So a strong science background is always let you to pursue whatever you want in any direction.
What I tell my daughters every day. So let's turn to the future. I'm personally a big vision person. And I'm very curious to hear about where would you personally like to be in the future? And let's say like the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself?
So I want to continue driving impactful innovation in geothermal per se, right? And leading efforts to scale the industry. So I think those are the two things that I'm very passionate about. And I see myself pushing boundaries and expanding geothermal's role in global energy. And I hope that I can have this opportunity to be in this mentoring role because I learned a lot from people, and I love that because every person is bringing you different insights and different view and vision. And I hope that I can continue to work with the next generation of the leaders in this segment. So those are the things that I'm very passionate about for upcoming years.
Okay, so now let's take geothermal industry as a whole. What do you envision as the future of geothermal in the next 5 years?
Great question. I think the next 5 years should be about massive scaling, bringing geothermal to new markets, a lot of discussion and efforts around cost reduction, integration into broader energy system. So I really want to see all of the geothermal technologies or next generation technologies from EGS, AGS become mainstream and widely deployed around the globe. And I think those are all of us needs to be focused to be all of us be successful for the next few years coming to make sure geothermal is the cornerstone of the energy transition.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so I mean, just kind of summing up all of these things. So, what are you kind of most passionate about now, either in the industry or kind of personally? And what are you most excited about for in the future?
What I'm excited about our industry today, geothermal industry, is that it is like a family. It is not huge, but everybody knows each other. Everybody is supporting to make sure that we are moving in the right direction. Of course, I am passionate about solving technical and commercial challenges for this segment to make it, again, I want to emphasize, truly scalable. That is the focus. Otherwise, we cannot bring geothermal in the broader energy mix discussion compared to other renewables and other energy source. So I think looking ahead, I'm excited to see that how geothermal can transform the global energy mix because of the scalability and how much we can deploy around the globe, even the area that is what not traditionally suitable for geothermal, and providing a baseload 24/7 clean power and revolutionizing how we can think about baseload energy.
That's great. I mean, I definitely agree with you about the geothermal industry being like a family, and it's just such a welcoming community. And so I'm so happy to be a part of this and so happy that you joined us today. It's been absolutely amazing to learn more about you and to talk to you today. And thank you so much for everyone watching this interview. If you would like to learn more, please see the accompanying article that we have on the Wing USA website, and be sure to watch the other interviews that we have on our YouTube channel. So thank you again, Ghazal, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, Kiara. It was a pleasure to meet you today.